Hey everybody, and welcome to Dave's Saturday Podcast. For some of you, this might be the first one you're listening to because I haven't really advertised it like I'm going to this coming week. So if you are a new listener, and you probably are, or you just went back and listened to everything and are listening in order and you just got to this one, welcome to my podcast. I don't know how to make you feel welcome, but let's just pretend I did that and let's move on from there. This week, not a lot's happened. For those of you who are absolutely new to the podcast, I'm changing things up over the next few weeks. I got the business cards. I got those in the mail today, baby. So I'm going to start putting them in places like coffee shops. I'm going to put some at work, some other places too, but I don't know how quickly it's going to actually catch on. I'm going to put some on my car. So I'm going to try and do at the end of this episode a Q&A for like questions I think are going to be asked. And then we'll go from there. So this would be, I don't know how long this podcast is going to be, but you do because you're listening to the final product. So there you go. I also, on this podcast, I'm also using it as an audio diary. So for a little bit, I'll talk about my week. I'll talk about what I think about something. Just because when I'm, 40, I'm going to have like 20 years of podcasts, then I'm going to go back and listen to the first few all the way to like the modern day, because I'll be dying probably. I have a heart problem. Anyway, I'll probably actually die 65, but we'll see what happens. Who knows? All right, all this talk about death is killing the vibe. Anyway, so this week, didn't do much, just worked. I worked hard this week. I did a lot. I've been reading David Goggins' book, You Can't Hurt Me. Very good book. It's free on Google Play. You just listen to it, audiobook. It is literally changing my life. I have done more pull-ups this week than probably the rest of my life combined. So David Goggins, he's a military guy, but he overtrained a lot, and he does these super long races, and the military part isn't really a big part of his story, even though he just has a lot that he does. He's a mental health guy, kind of. His techniques is more of blunt force, ripping out your mental issues. So I would give the book a listen because it is it's working really well for me. I mean, I get up and so he has the idea that there's demons or something, like there's something in you that doesn't want you to succeed. Something in you that you wake up in the morning and you're like, I don't really have to get out of bed, or I can hit my alarm a few times. There's that voice inside you that just wants you to be lazier and wants you to be comfortable. And once you start confronting that voice and kicking it up and down the street and making it suffer, like you wake up and you just get right out of bed because it hates that, and then you get in the shower and you take a cold shower because it hates that. That's the kind of stuff that he's talking about. For me at work, I don't like doing my job. Sometimes I'll play chess, I'll say that, but every time I wanted to play chess, I said no, I'm going to work for an extra hour. Well, not like work, I didn't stay an extra hour, but I'm going to work for an extra long period of time so that I make that voice inside me mad. And then I named that voice, and I named him Mr. Poopy Pants. So now, whenever I'm feeling like, man, I don't really want to take a cold shower this morning, I'll just say, yeah, that's Mr. Poopy Pants talking, and I'd like to make Mr. Poopy Pants angry. So that's how I'm doing it. I know that's a little weird, but I'm the weird guy, so suck it up. I don't know if that was a lot of rambling. I don't think it was. You could ask a question why I ramble so much. That'd be a good question suggestion. The email for the questions is davesaturdaypodcast@gmail.com. But you probably already knew that because every single one of my podcasts I say that. So ask some questions. What else did I do this week? I really just worked. Friday night I played poker. That was last night. Played some poker. I lost on purpose because I just wanted to go home. I was tired. I guess I kind of lost on purpose because it was funny. I didn't really want to admit that, but yeah, I left because it was funny, and I did want to get to bed by like 11, So I ended up going real low, and then I won back a lot, and then I intentionally, I didn't even look at my hand, I just went all in to see what would happen. That was a lot of fun. Yeah. Met some new guys that I've never met before. It was very nice. Today, I went to a coffee shop to write some comedy, write some of my screenplay, which I don't know if that's ever going to get finished. That screenplay is hard to write because I've never written anything like that. But maybe one day it'll be done. Getting a gift for a friend. That's all I'm going to say about that, because it's a small chance that he'll listen to this podcast, and I don't want him to not be surprised. I've still been playing chess, not as much, but I just kind of enjoy it. It's kind of a hobby. It's a little bit fun, a little bit irritating. Been playing video games a little bit, tiny bit, not much at all, not much to where it even matters. I'm starting to run. I'm training for either a half or full marathon, and if I run either one, I'll be the only person on earth with my heart problem that has ran one, and I think that's pretty cool. So I'm going to do that. I've run a 10K. I've run about a 10K. It's about as far as I've ever gone. So I'm pretty excited to do it. It's gonna be a long time, 6 months from now. So just gonna get myself in shape, and I'll be Gucci, or I'll die from heart failure. Who knows? Probably not, because if there was heart failure, I already know about it. That's about it, I think. Nothing else comes to mind for what I did this week. All right, so time for these questions that I'm assuming people will ask anyway. I'm going to just make this I'd assume these would be frequently asked questions. So first one, is your car the rainbow car? Yes, my car is the rainbow car, and it also has Conan O'Brien on it. Thank you for asking. That is me. I'm probably going to answer this in other podcasts anyway. Part of my plan is to put some of the cards on the window, or tape a few to the car, so that people are looking at my car and then they see that and they're like, oh, I'll ask a question on this guy's podcast. So there will be that. Next question. Can I see you perform comedy? Yes, if you live in Bellingham or Seattle at some point, but not until everything opens up from COVID. Question number 3. How'd you get so good looking? Well, I'll tell you, half of it's genetics, half of it is working hard and grinding and restructuring my face with a variety of surgical tools. That would be the answer to that question. And the final question, this will be a short podcast. Final question is, what is your home address? I'm not going to answer that question. Thank you for those questions, me. I made those. I don't know if those are actually frequently asked. I think the first couple might, but I don't know about the other two. Okay, well, that's all for this one. Thank you for listening. I know this is another short one. I don't know how to make them longer because, frankly, my life isn't that exciting. So, yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for listening. On this episode of Dave's Saturday Podcast, I'm going to sign off saying